Ready?
Let's get it. We here. We here, gang.
Yeah.
We here.
This shit's crazy.
This is kind of crazy.
The SDCC behind us is crazy.
Yeah, no, this is wild. Who getting the flicks?
Like,
Like, take picture. Do I get to keep this? I want to keep
I'm
this.
assuming so. I mean, I don't
It's
think
got
anyone
my
else.
name on it.
I don't think anyone else can take it.
How you see this going? I know we kind of talked about it right there, but so you wanted most of the document, just kind of D Wade, LeBron, Miami Heat, prime Miami Heat.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go down. I got like certain things I'm gonna hit.
Damn, I didn't.
No,
do
no,
that.
but
Oh
that could,
no.
but that could work though, because while I'm talking, you could be thinking about whatever you're gonna say.
Oh, where did they get that panel? Where did they get that?
I
I
don't
don't remember seeing these.
I don't remember seeing it.
All right.
All right, I'll start.
Hello, everyone. You hear me back there? All right. Being here. Choosing the best panel you will ever see. So, my name is Jay Lowry, and I am a comic book creator. I am from Northern California, near cultures. On my mother's side, I'm Rock. On my father's side, I'm migrated and Figure. And it's my honor to live here on ancestral Punjab land here in San Diego County. I work for UC San Diego, and I direct the Indigenous Futures Institute. And we just had a really awesome IndigiCon event yesterday, where we brought together a lot of Native and Indigenous comic creators from around the country. And it's my honor to help introduce and facilitate today's talk with some of our great friends. I'm just going to introduce them, and they're each going to talk and share about their work and their homelands and how their cultures help guide and impact their work. So, Tokala Tatum is a writer, film director, and now turned comic book creator. And he's releasing his first graphic novel titled The Down Under. He is from the Yakama Nation based in Seattle, Washington. He's 26, he's a graduate from the University of Washington and making his mark in all things story. His partner in crime is Roy Nicole. Roy is a contemporary post-Salish artist from the Nooksack tribe. He is the lead illustrator and producer for the Setting Sun Circle's first graphic novel, The Down Under. His work stretches across various mediums, including writing, acting, painting, and music production. His work is always grounded in lived experience or cultural teachings. Please give him a hand. And at the end, we will save some time for some questions from the audience. So, Tokala will start us off.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tokala Tatum. Yeah, I come from the Yakama tribe out of Yakima, Washington. That's where I was born and raised. And I also come from the Rosebud Sioux tribe out of Rosebud, South Dakota, on my father's side. And today I'm here joined by Roy, who you'll hear shortly after me. And we're both here talking about our graphic novel, The Downwinder. And we'll wrap that into what this panel's about with environmental advocacy and things of that nature. But to give you guys a little context, since what I'm going to be talking about, The Downwinder, that's how I'll kind of relate all of my points that I'm talking about in the few minutes I have. But The Downwinder is an action-adventure, manga-inspired graphic novel that's about a young man who has the ability to transform into water, and he hops from job to job along the river as he learns about his impact of the water and the impact of his hands, the impact that his hands have on generations beyond his reach. And that's kind of what our graphic novel is. I'm the writer and creator, and Roy's the lead illustrator and co-creative director. And for me, you know, when I was coming into this panel, and the panel being titled Indigenous Art and Nature's Advocacy, Environmental Advocacy, for me, environmental advocacy comes down to one core principle, and that comes down to building a holistic worldview, building an all-encompassing worldview that can incorporate all elements of life. Oftentimes when we run into environmental problems, it's because we get a little too tunnel visioned. We get a little too tunnel vision on profit, politics, power, technological advancement, et cetera. And so to me, environmental advocacy really comes down to building that holistic worldview. And one way that you do that is through storytelling. For storytelling, one of the main components of storytelling is it helps build that holistic worldview. If you look at any event in history, oftentimes storytelling comes in and can help flesh out that event in history, whether it's a war or anything. And so approaching that from our young Native American perspective and telling a story about a young man who has the ability to transform in the water and doing it through that story is one core component of building a holistic worldview. The second thing is, if we're talking about building a holistic worldview, then we got to talk about what voices have been kept out of the conversation. Well, oftentimes in this place, it's Native American people. We haven't been kept in the conversation. That's one of the reasons we're sitting right here talking to you guys today. We're on this panel because now people are like, oh, okay, maybe Native people do have something to say about the land that we've been on since time immemorial. And so building that holistic worldview through the storytelling, building that holistic worldview by adding our Native American Indigenous perspective where all of us come from is a huge aspect of what environmental advocacy means to me. And beyond that, for the downwinders specifically, to me the way we do that is by showing our truly human perspective, meaning when we're building a holistic worldview, it's showing all sides of us. For example, our main character, Archie Adams, when he has the ability to transform into water, he also leaves a trail of toxic goo behind his every step, forcing him to confront his own past and his own impact on the land, his own impact on the future generations, which is something that all of us, young people, older, etc., we all have to come in contact with that conversation at one point or another. The other thing is with building this holistic worldview. Like I said, this is an action-adventure, manga-inspired graphic novel. Action-adventure meaning inspired by the likes of One Piece, by the likes of Fullmetal Alchemist, the original Dragon Ball, things of that nature. So it's about a boat crew, and what I mean by that is it kind of not only examining our impact ourselves, but also examining our relation to other people, and also examining our relation to the land, which is something I think our Indigenous perspective can do a lot. And so lastly, with a book like The Downwinder, that is probably the one thing that I feel like me personally as a writer and creator try to do is I'm not trying to build any narrative or perception of us. I'm really just trying to show my human perspective and my experience holistically. Like I said, so that goes into the environmental advocacy, and that also goes into the storytelling aspect of I'm trying to show everything of us, our struggles and our triumphs. That's the point of storytelling. That's the point of being in panels like this and seeing other people talk about their stories. That's the journey of story. And so to wrap all that up, as hopefully Roy can help me out a little bit when he talks, that's our goal at The Downwinder. It's just us adding our perspective, but also in a modern contemporary time to reach the youth. And I mean, for us to have our first graphic novel and we're able to speak about it at a panel on a platform like this, I mean, it's the best thing we can ask for. So I just want to thank Chad Lowry and IFI for inviting us out here. And that's what I had to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tokala. Tough act to follow, for real. Hi, everyone. My name is Roy Alexander. My ancestral name is Dashahaim here. It comes from 8 generations ago before our treaty signing. And the reason I put it up here, I just wanted to explain this real quick, just so y'all know. I just want to represent my bloodline and my lineage in this way. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, seeing our panel. I know we all come from different walks of life and, you know, from across the country to really be here, so that's really cool. So, Haishka for being here. That means thank you from my Coast Salish territories. I'm not gonna lie, when Tokala and I were talking about this panel, I was like, dude, what do I even talk about? Like, I don't know, I never actually like really think about it. Like, He was like, oh, well, maybe that's your talking point. You know, like you don't actually go into storytelling thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this like specifically for the environment. It's just inherent to us as Indigenous people. That's what it is. We live alongside the land. You know, especially me as I had a very spiritual upbringing with my family being culture bearers. Everything that we do comes from the land. All of our regalia, everything, you know, about our life comes from regalia. Our canoes, our cedar, our everything, feathers, all of that. So when the Downwinder kind of came across my desk and I was told like, hey, can you guys produce like a graphic novel about the Hanford nuclear site? That was something that was like, oh, wow, this is something that I'm learning about now, because I had no idea what the Hanford nuclear site really was. So it was an opportunity for me to learn not only about this, but about my friends' people and what my friends' people have also been through. So, you know, to kind of wrap all that up, you know, it's been a journey, and it's been really cool to learn about, and we really wanted to kind of go about this in a way where we can also have the youth learn about this as well. That was one of the main reasons we went with a manga-inspired approach. So, yeah.
And Roy, can you share how many images total did you create? How many
Quite a bit. So we started illustrating about, I think, 8 months ago. It was about 2 months of storyboarding, and then right after that went into 8 months of illustration work, and we did about 260 pages, I think, and anywhere from 1 to 6 or 7 panels per page. I was getting mad at Tokala. I was like, you really put 7 panels on this page? Like, we gonna have to fight later, bro. Like, yeah, but it all turned out really well. We're entering our editing phase. We're, you know, in active talks with other publishers, and I can't wait to see everyone's reaction and you know, how they intake this and learn from it as well. So thank you, Chad.
Next question.
My name is Pablo Riley. Here in San Diego, my father is from the Tongva tribe, and my mother is from the Yaqui tribe. And I'm just here, growing up here, I'm 50 years old, grew up with comic books, but it was weird because I never had comic books that talked about me. And I work in education. I've been a counselor now for 20 years, and I feel like the more I can give to our young Native people, like information, the books, whatever, I feel like they're able to now adopt their own identities. I feel like as city natives, we've adopted everyone else's identities because it wasn't enough there for us to have. So, someone coming from the city to you all that have that information, what do you all, my question is, like, what do you guys have that I can share with the students, with young people, that I can take with me?
I think for me, I was talking about this yesterday, and the thing for me was I was asked to give some advice to the youth, and the one thing that stuck with me was always remembering that your perspective matters. Doesn't matter where you come from. For example, for the Downwinder, like Roy mentioned earlier, the Downwinder revolves around the Hanford nuclear site. The Hanford nuclear site is a nuclear site that was along our Columbia River back home in Washington. It affected a lot of people, but I grew up on the reservation in the early 2000s, and the Hanford nuclear site was in the 50s and 40s, 60s, etc. But even when I was growing up in the early 2000s, it was still told to me as a rumor of a rumor of potential chemicals being put into our water. And for me, when I was approaching it with this story, that was me reminding myself that my perspective matters, even though everyone knows about the Hanford nuclear site in terms of the government reports are out there, etc. And so the one thing that I always tell the youth that I would always like to tell to the youth, native or non, is that it don't matter where you come from. It don't matter if you come from the inner city. It don't matter if you come from the reservation, because I got family that's from both sides. My mom grew up on the res, on the Yakima res, half native, half black. My dad also grew up, he's Rosebud, South Dakota, but he grew up in the streets of Seattle. And so I come from both sides of that experience. And so the thing for me is always remembering I came up around a lot of perspectives, came up with my own perspective as anyone does, but always remember it don't matter where you come from, that always believe in your own perspective. So I feel like it's one thing I like to take.
Next question.
Hi, I appreciate you all being thank you for sharing your words. I wanted to ask, coming from such like a rich tradition and like history of like oral storytelling, right? How has the shift into like visual media, like intensely visual media and like art as a method of communicating message been for you? And have you noticed that you have like shifted messages or intention? Like how have you been able to kind of like adapt that in
Take that one.
regards to how you share?
No, take that one. Cool. To me, that's your question.
I mean, yeah, no, you got it. No, that's all you. That's all you. Yeah, I mean, coming from a very traditional background and, you know, being passed on a lot of oral history, I really do see that shift that you're talking about when, like, my little brother, he's always on an iPad or he's always on a Switch. Cannot get him away from it. Like, really, I'll put my hand in front of the screen and he's like, nah, I'm cool. Hold on. So like really like shifting our storytelling to fit that and meeting our youth where they're at is something that was very important to me when Tokala and I were creating the Downwinder. You know, there were conversations like, oh yeah, like why a graphic novel, right? And it was like, because this is where they're at. They're not gonna pick up like a 250 page, you know, just straight novel. They want them pictures. They want them pictures. So just meeting the youth where they're at is I think important. Unless you have anything to add.
That was
All right,
perfect.
cool. Thank you. You made it. You made it. You made it here. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we can take these?
And,
I'm taking this.
there's
I'm
some
taking
feedback
it.
on.
We can? Oh, say less. Oh. Say less, twin.